So why do nice guys struggle with sales and what can you do about it? Well, we're going to start with that discussion today. And there is something, actually a lot of things you can do about it to help you improve, get better with it, might not ever fall in love with it, but get comfortable with it, get more confident with it. That I can promise you. And it might not be what you think it is. And also, if you stay till the end, I'll give you some actionable steps that you can start working on today. So I am Shane. I am the nice guy entrepreneur. But early on in my career, in fact, the moment I graduated from college, a very long time ago, uh, I landed in a job that asked me to sell, and it was not what I wanted to do. I'll be honest, I'm an introvert. I can be very socially awkward. I'm uncomfortable in a large room of people. I find it challenging to go up to anyone and start a conversation. That is me. I probably hold world records for stepping into a networking event and stepping right out within the first 15 seconds. If you got me beat, please let me know. But yeah, that's me. And then here I was at the age of 21, I guess, 21, 22, being asked to sell. And it was not going to work. I could not survive in this job, doing what they were asking me to do. Now, keep in mind, the people that were asking me to do this were old school. They were traditional salespeople. They had techniques that would work down the potential buyer into submission, if you will. And that wasn't me. That's not who I was as a human being. And I wasn't ready nor willing to be that person for my job. That just wasn't going to happen. So I taught myself something, and I learned a lot throughout that process. And I became a salesperson, but a salesperson that could live with themselves, that felt comfortable in their own skin. And here are some things that I've learned, and why we don't like to sell. Number one is look around us, right? Research shows that if you ask somebody a one-word response to what they think of a salesman, over 80% of them will give you a negative word, a word that says something bad about sales and salesmen. And I'm being gender specific here because the historical nature of sales was salesmen, and the historical nature of sales was bad. So they go hand in hand. So that's what we think of, right? We think negative things of sales. There are movies, Glengarry Glen Ross, amazing movie. Highly recommend you watch it. Star-studded cast, a lot of iconic things lines have come out of that. But it's not how we want to sell. Wolf of Wall Street, Wall Street itself, great movies, TV shows, TV characters, but our own personal life. No offense to car salesmen out there, but who many of you really like to go buy a car? I mean, I wish I could just click a button and have it shipped to me. That I hate working with car salesmen because I know their techniques. And fortunately for me, they no longer work on me. But there was a time, I have to admit, I own timeshare. So that technique has worked on me. It wouldn't work on me anymore, but we don't think very highly of them, do we? We know they're just out there to beat us. It's a win-lose situation, and they're trying to win, and we're trying to defend ourselves. So yeah, why do nice guys not like to sell? The number one reason is bad experiences, bad perceptions. Now, it doesn't mean that you have to be bad. Absolutely not. But it's what we're carrying into that situation. So as an entrepreneur or a new entrepreneur or even still a wantrepreneur, you know you're going to have to sell, don't you? You know that you're going to walk out there into maybe a chamber event. You know you're going to jump on a Zoom call with a potential investor. You know that you are going to deal with vendors that are choosing who they like to share their product with, whatever the case. And by the way, sales is not just a business setting. Sales is all throughout your life. Getting a job, getting a raise if you're still employed, finding your significant other and partner in life. These are all forms of sales. But it's when we think that we as an entrepreneur are going to have to sell our beautiful baby. We know we love our baby. We know our product, our good, our service is amazing. We created it. We know this. But what are they going to think? What are they going to say? And will they dare pay money for us? It's uncomfortable. I get it. I still feel uncomfortable doing it, I admit. But there are things that we can do to work with that perception, to give yourself more confidence, more comfortability, and what are they, right? But again, back to why we feel this way. Well, first off, as a nice guy entrepreneur, chances are you're a humble person, right? Chances are you are someone that is comfortable without having to boast. Chances are you are someone that is not looking to be under the spotlight. When it comes time to potentially sell our product to someone else, we recognize that the experiences we've seen in the past have been just that. It's a person likely in front of us that is boasting how wonderful they are, how wonderful their company is, how wonderful the product is. And even to the point where they're so confident in what they're saying that they make us feel bad if we don't choose it. Have you ever been in that situation? Please share your bad sales experiences in the comments. I want to hear them. Everybody has them. Let's share those. But think about that. We hear from that bad salesperson, right? The not so nice guy salesperson, about how dumb we are for using something else other than their product, right? That's horrible. That is not how I want to represent myself. That is not how I want to represent my business or my product, right? But that's what we're carrying into that conversation, that fear, and the only way we know how at that moment, right? And so what do we often do? We feel pressured to come into a sales conversation. And mind you, again, this works in all forms of promotion, whether you're face-to-face over a coffee or in an office, whether you're virtual on a Zoom call, or you're simply building out a sales or landing page on your website. How do you want it to, be stretched out and worded? How do you want to introduce what you do and how you can help others? This is still that sales conversation. So if the only experiences we've had in life were negative, of people boasting about how amazing they are, that's not what we want to do. And that's why we feel that negative reaction. It is so intimidating, I guess. It's also icky. It feels salesy. It feels sleazy. It feels pushy. All the seven dwarves of bad sales. We don't want to be any of them. These are bad dwarves, not us, right? We want to be positive. And it's hard, though. Again, we're bringing our bad past experiences to that conversation. And so we end up wanting to puke all this information out about how great we are. And when we recognize that as a new entrepreneur, it's uncomfortable. We enter that conversation without the confidence we know we need. And the horrible thing about it is we know that conversation is going to have to happen 3 or 4 or 5 steps down the road. So, we might have to invite somebody, to a coffee conversation to hopefully tell them about what we do and how we can help them. And that's scary to us, to have to think about puking are and boast all over them. So we don't even go into that chamber event. We don't even sign up for that Zoom call or even show up for the one we did schedule. We ghost them, right? That's horrible. But it's because we know that if we set that up, if we approach someone at that networking event, it will lead to coffee tomorrow morning. And so let's just, if we approach someone, let's not even get there. Let's not even ask them for the sales call, because that would make us uncomfortable. So, God, what can we do? Right? If we are uncomfortable with what we know, well, number one, a lot of people do is they go out and learn how to sell. So if you have not tried to learn how to sell from other people and other structured classes, do so. It's helpful. It's helpful. However, a lot of the instruction out there comes from experienced salespeople, and a lot of them are experienced through being salesy. And of course, if that way, number one way of learning is from people that are not like you, trying to teach you to be like them, how well do you think that's going to go? Probably not so well. The second way to learn is to learn from someone that has a more structured and formalized training schedule, that has learned from that environment. And that typically comes from the world of corporate sales. Corporate sales are not like car sales. They are more relationship based. They're more consultative based, which are great ways to sell. But it still comes across as someone that is not who we are. It comes across as corporate-like. There's a great platform, I believe it's a franchise called Sandler Sales Training, and they are worldwide, and they will teach you how to sell, but their specialty is teaching you how to train your corporate staff how to sell. So imagine that. Imagine you, a solopreneur perhaps, going into a call with someone that maybe is or isn't from the corporate world, and talking to them as if you are a corporate person doing the corporate routine. It's awkward. It still is very awkward. The third way, or the third source to learn how to sell, is from someone that's a little bit more like you. Think about that. Someone that has been there, done that, didn't like to sell, but has learned a way to sell. That is the number one way, in my book, right? Because if they are like you, they were where you are now, and they have grown out of that current spot and have excelled to a new level. And the way you talk with them, or the way they come across, whether it's on video or in person, the way that they come across, or even in a book, is very approachable, like you, and they're not cocky. They're not overconfident. We want to be confident, but not overconfident. They're not sleazy, salesy, pushy, any of those things. Then that sounds like an ideal place for me to start. And so that's what I recommend. And it's hard to find some sources out there, but one I do stand behind. He doesn't necessarily give you a step-by-step process, but a great mindset, and that is Daniel Pink. Daniel Pink has a few good books out there on the matter. I highly recommend those. He probably has some online sales training. So look out for that. Also, look for the way I teach it too. Again, the Nice Guy Entrepreneur is built around starting with getting comfortable selling. And the class title is alone should help you out. How to sell when you hate to sell, right? If that doesn't draw you in, then the class isn't for you. But if you're curious about that, check it out. And check out the website, NiceGuy.biz. But yeah, I know you can do this. It's just a matter of being comfortable so you don't feel like you have to both. And there are further techniques for that. Here's a little teaser that will lead us into that next video, but you can help you can extrapolate on it right now and take it into your own training. And that's to be the most interested person in the room, not the most interesting person in the room. I'll leave you with this. If those old school traditional ways of salesmen that are boasting about themselves, they're trying to be the most interesting person in the room by saying how great they are. If you wrap your mind around the idea of being the most interested person in the room, what is that going to encourage you to do? Think about that, and we'll talk about that on the next video. And just remember, guys, nice guys finish and outlast. Have a great day.